Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebel Brick. Today we are looking at a couple different sets here. As I was kind of going through some of the stuff on my city and that, and I kind of find that I had a couple sets that I didn't realize I had gotten two of them. I thought I had gotten one, but when they came out apparently I got two. So I'm talking about, we have set 75345. So really it's a Army Builder set, so it'd be the 501st with the little Walker artillery pieces. Like I said, I didn't even realize I had gotten two of them. I knew I picked one up because I saw one box, and then as I'm going through, and then I find that I had a second one. So the set itself is actually pretty decent. We actually get 4 figures. So as you see, we have 4 out here. We have 2 up here and then 2 in the front. So you get one with the blue arms. So I'm going to guess that that's going to be your commander. And then we actually have 3 others that are going to be similar to this one. We have the option to have like 2 of them with the bigger pistol, maybe with the extension, and then 2 others or a couple others with just a regular smaller pistol. I figure he's a commander, he's going to have just a pistol. These guys, I put the visor piece on there, seeing that they're kind of operating the machine. The other thing that they had is they had a white visor that would kind of go over. I figured I'd leave that off, but they did have enough for, I believe, 2 figures in each pack to do that. Of course, we have the rangefinder that, was so iconic coming from Boba Fett. And then we saw with Jango Fett, and then with some of the clone troopers and that as well. But I didn't want to put any of those on there. I do have quite a bit of 501st figures. I know I have a base plate with a whole bunch of them on. So if I have Captain Rex and a whole bunch of those, I'm just going to leave these a little bit more plain Jane. These guys I figured I'd make a little difference seeing that they're on there, maybe to keep the glare out as they're trying to figure out where they're aiming. They also had a rifle. So pick up the rifle here, and possibility of, I don't know if you're going to call this a suppressor or what you wanted to call that, but this piece could actually fit onto the rifle. So I could fit that on, and now it extends it out. Makes it a little bit more of a bulkier rifle in that. And then 2 of them could actually have this little backpack piece, and it had actually a little printed piece on there. I left those off because I don't know where I'm going to end up with these, whether they end up in a Walker or wherever else. I figured I'd just leave these kind of plain troopers and that. The commander, I did actually give him some binoculars so he could look out in the distance to tell the gunner as to where to shoot. As far as this goes, the legs move back and forth, and then this is a click joint, so we could actually click it down a little bit more like the other one is, and then you can make it kind of look like it's walking. This does pivot a little bit back and forth. Has a spot on the bottom, so if I put seeing that I have the little missiles here, I don't typically put them in there, but I could actually feed the missile in there as long as it sits, and then you could shoot it out. I did deviate a little bit on the build because these are little spacer pieces, and I had an extra spacer piece, so I figured I'd throw that extra spacer piece in there. Other than that, that's the regular cannon. It's just, it would be 1 space or less, and it would actually sit in there a little bit. So I figured, well, these will be a little long barrel versions of it in comparison, but otherwise it's not much of a difference from how they had it set up. It is an interesting little build. Works great to sit here and say we have our Walker, or we have our Spider Mech sitting here, which I think is just out of your view. It works pretty good. I really kind of like it. And then the other thing is as I was cleaning up, I got this for Christmas from my sister-in-law and her husband, and I'm sure he feels kind of goofy, getting Legos for a gentleman that's actually older than he is, because he's really big into fishing, and that's his thing, and he does a whole different fishing than I ever do. I give him props for how he fishes, but whenever I fish, it's just rod and reel, and I just cast out with a casting bait. I don't usually use worms or anything else. So, but they gave me this one. Yeah, it's a 4+ setup with a smaller walker. I mean, it's supposed to be an ATST, but I do know in some of the extra lore, they did have a smaller version, which was just a single person one. So this does work out very well. And the design of this, I'm going to pull this top off so you can kind of see in here. This is really a neat design inside here, because this is all one mold, because it's meant for 4+. So you can still get a full figure in there, and it works pretty good. So in some regards, if you find this thing and it's on clearance, I think it's worth picking up, actually. As far as this goes, the little, however you want to consider them, I know Lego in the past sometimes has made these little pieces into guns. Sometimes they're just bull horns, and who knows. I mean, whatever your imagination can come up with. To me, I would say either bull horns or something, so you can talk to people, or maybe even get some white pieces on there and make them into searchlights. I would say that this would be more of an Imperial version of the AT-RT. So you're fully enclosed. And because I've played BattleTech and stuff like that, they had certain mechas and stuff really angled more at policing in cities. So yeah, you have mech jocks that are out doing your normal patrols, but sometimes when you're just kind of policing in cities and stuff like that, you might have something smaller. They actually had armored guys later on in their storyline or whatever, that were just small enough to get into the buildings, but they were fairly good and armored and everything else, and they could actually go up against some of the mechas and that they have in their game. So I've that's where I kind of come from. So I like the idea of some smaller walkers and all that. So like I said, if I can find this on clearance or something, I might pick up another one or two. I think it's an interesting build. Comes with Ewok, and they have a small little tree forge here, a little catapult, and it has 3 little pieces to shoot. To me, I just figured I'd stack those up, and I'll just throw this here for now. It's always kind of nice getting some more Ewoks. So, but seeing I hadn't put this together and it was sitting there, I figured, hey, why not put that together? Seeing that we just had a review of doing the Mandalorian Spider Mech, and then we also have the bigger walker sitting in here, so you can kind of see the size reference, and the ATST sits quite a bit higher, so this really to me would fill the gap for a small walker. Looking at the person, I mean, goodness, you could 3 people tall, three minifigures tall. So trying to get down streets and everything else, I think that would probably work a little bit better. Plus it would get you some more little tree pieces or whatever, if you wanted to make a bigger tree somewhere or whatever, or however you wanted to do it. But those were my thoughts on that. Always fun to add trees and that into your building and all that. So with that being said, I think we cover a good review of it. Hopefully your guys don't get eaten up by your spider. I have to have them shooting at the spider. Gotta have fun. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed watching what I have, and I do appreciate you stopping by and seeing the silliness that I go through on a day-to-day basis, and hopefully it brings a smile to your face, and just the silliness that I do. And keep working. Thank you.